trying this new headset out. We'll see how this goes. Go down to Fire Promoter. I'm working on this AEW save. There's a slight delay in my headset, throw me off. Like a mix minus for the audio. It's like a reporter's worst nightmare in the field, having that slight delay in their ear. I may just have to deal with it for now, though. Oh, that's loud. Again, I don't want to drown the game out or make it where you can't hear me. That's the challenge of this, I guess. So Kitamura is a bit of a letdown coming in. Yoshihashi's a roster guy for me, so I prefer that he won, but not the highest percentage there. Let's see how this tag match goes. It does come through louder. Let's see. Alright, I turned it down in my headset a bit, so hopefully this will work. Nitro I signed as like a one-off. Like bring him in for an opportunity. His partner is Flyer in the red mask. Up against Shima and dude from OWE. It was a bit frustrating for the first year of this simulation, whatever it is, and it's still so distracting to hear this voice in my head of myself about a half second after. But it was frustrating to have all these intricate ring designs that I came up with just for simulated games that I posted online on YouTube, and then not be able to use them at all. With the circa 2002 New Japan style corner mats. One thing I have to double check with this is before I finalize the card, make sure I have the time limits right. I don't think I particularly put much care into it for this, so hopefully it won't come back to bite me. There is a way with this where I can stream my microphone separately within OBS, but then I can't hear myself when I do that. I'm not sure which is worse, the slight delay or...
5 minutes gone.
This referee is one the game came up with, their make-believe ones. But it's weird, the first couple of months in game time is one show per month essentially. But it would be like the referee used in the last show and then a mystery variety of the others. So I found a guy that counts pretty slow and I decided to stick with him for now. And this is it calls it an 8-team or 8-company choice when you first started up, but it's really that +1. It's like 8 opponents and then you. I had to rename some of my menus for the very cumbersome, I might add, user interface. But like WCW became AEW just so I could make it work in the game. That's a testament to how fun this game is, and I'm willing to jump through all these hoops, go to these elaborate lengths to figure it out, to get the best value out of it. I love the Fire Pro series. I love it going back to the first time I played it in 1996. Super Fire Pro X Premium, with Order Wrestling in there somewhere as well. I remember the days, not only could you not download any wrestlers, you couldn't even like copy it to a USB drive, the trick for returns on the PS2. The Workshop has added all sorts of new possibilities into this franchise. The career mode is not to be mistaken for total extreme wrestling. It's the true sim by any means. I'm not going to have details about each and every company, but it's also not realistic. You'd only be able to hire one person per month. It's just how it's set up here. But to that end, it's a game. It's not a true real-life simulation. But it's fun. Adds yet another level to this really great game. I know the $20 price point is going to be a sticking spot for some people if it's too high. And I understand that. To me, I would pay $200. But I've been waiting a long time play this sort of mode in Fire Pro. They had it in the GBA release, the Game Boy Advance, but I never owned one of those. Never played it. So this is my first taste of it in any way. I'm very grateful I was able to use downloaded CAW's Creator Wrestlers. If these were all make-believe people, it wouldn't be nearly as fun, I would think. So I've got this with noise suppression on. I'm going to try turning that off for a second.
See if that makes the difference. I still hear myself at a delay, but it's not quite as bad. I don't know, I'll have to compare and contrast. This is the vanilla mode. Okay, I'm going to turn this back off. The
noise suppression somehow is even worse without it on after a minute. I get an echo. It is possible to skip these simulated matches. I'm just going through for now at least to give the ones I'm curious about a try. I'm to the point of having 5 matches per show. One problem you do run into in this game is having a limited roster and seeing the same guys over and over. It's like, this is modern day WWE. I mean, there's a good excuse for the game. Don't have 200 wrestlers sitting down in storage in Orlando. So in the simulation, I don't have very much money the way it started out. You really can't go through and edit that as best I can tell. Maybe at some point there'll be a mod that will allow that to be done a lot more easily. It's like AEW if you didn't really get the Young Bucks and have that Tony Khan money behind you. See, I'm not sure with this whole headset thing. Do I need to get this set up properly or... Still here. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm going to open a browser window to have the chat visible. We can bother with that. Try it out here as far as I'm gonna have two games playing at once here for a second in my head. Trying to gauge how the sound is gonna try it out here as far as I'm gonna have two games playing at once here for a second. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It turned out alright. There you go, the time limit. 30-minute time limit this match. Give a shout out to Carl Zilla, the guy behind a lot of the mods, a lot of the creativity that otherwise wouldn't be able to be created in this game. Puts a lot of work in on it. It's greatly appreciated. I'm the type, I know just enough to be dangerous with some of this stuff. It certainly helps having people that really know what they're doing to fix things with the mods every time a new version comes out. I wish there were a way to have it where you could have 5 minutes remaining and 2 minutes remaining for the ring announcer. Had a little more drama. At least a 2-minute warning, if nothing else. You can get a 1 minute. Just 1 more minute, said very quickly. A 1 minute remaining or anything like that. Double standing switch. Better get submission right now or it's going to be a draw. I presume that was a time limit draw, not a submission. Let's see. Yep, a draw. And more importantly, 98% match evaluation. All right. So we're on to the next match. For what it's worth, this doesn't give you any sort of option as far as changing up the ring with a sponsorship. We've got it set up. My company is AEW, All Elite Wrestling. It's a King's Road objective as far as match style. I've got lucha or hardcore. I think Showman. I think it's the WWE one. Found the cough button on this thing. Because there are limited options for you as far as your talent volume goes coming out of the gates, I had to feel creative with my teaming. and T-Hawk
5 minutes gone.
teaming up with Cody Rhodes. Actually having some decent success in there. But now T-Hawk is the cruiserweight, or I think it's junior heavyweight. He's that New Japan style nomenclature. A junior heavyweight champion. Being challenged here by relatively recently signed Cedric Alexander. Something to keep in mind if you get Fire, Promoter, and Tribe is that you want to make sure you have everything set up before you start it, as far as the number of wrestlers per company, the total free agent wrestlers. I'm told, at least for the Steam version, the PC version, that 800 is the limit as far as the total wrestlers within the world. It's rather remarkable. Certainly not a complaint. I didn't want to test the upper edges of this game's ability to handle a volume of wrestlers right out of the gate, so did the best I could to bring over a variety of wrestlers that would at least somewhat make sense. But at some point I'll start to get into a real big one, the 17 company. Although, unless there's something I'm overlooking, unless a mod comes out, I'm not going to be able to give myself a lot of money out of the gate. Kind of like with this. It's down there with the lowest promotions as far as money-wise. Start from scratch. Aside from the 6 wrestlers I was able to bring in. Even with a extra 300 or 400 wrestlers out there on the open market, the way this game is set up, you can only sign 1 per month. You can try to, only 1 attempt per month. So if you miss, might take a chance on a really good wrestler available for a pretty good amount of money. If it doesn't work out, you're stuck with the same roster. You have injury issues or other things plaguing you. And you can't go through and just get a bunch of low money guys, because it limits the total roster size. And it does that with the gym. You can expand your gym, and it's almost like the NXT Performance Center as far as that goes. Near fall. So it was really surreal for me was seeing Fire Pro team up with New Japan Pro Wrestling last year. They had Fire Pro themed aprons and corners, and it's like View Japan. The near fall. Which was funny because that was what they used way back when, as the knockoff of New Japan was View Japan. This the officially licensed product. I haven't messed much with the theme music options. I could do it right here for Alexander. T-Hawk stays alive. planning to do this for a long time. Just waiting for this fire promoter to finally come out. Glad to finally have it. That'll do it. New champion, Cedric Alexander. T-Hawk in his first defense drops the strap. I like how the audience sound just abruptly drops off. When safe. Try switching something up here. I'm actually going to stop the stream for a moment. I'm going to try mixing my microphone in separately from the desktop audio. That may take me a second to set up, so stand by, please. Talk. Be careful not to peek the mic. But it was just distracting. That half-second delay, hearing myself, reminded me of when I was doing sideline reporting for Father Ryan High School football in Nashville. It was like a 1 second delay, just enough where it really was frustrating to hear myself talking in my ear about a 1 second off. Rather distracting. So I'm going to try something else here while I get this set up. Okay, I've unmuted myself. Set up. Okay, I've unmuted myself. Set up. Okay, I've unmuted myself. Okay, this won't work. I'm trying to listen to myself this way. Try to get cute and stream the audio through a second source. Unfortunately for me, the recorder picked it up. But again, that's why I'm testing it out with this. Okay. Tag title match here. One problem with this game is that, one of many problems actually, one really frustrating thing is that one of the wrestlers you brought in doesn't have a name set or a short name set. It shows up as blank. So it should say Dean and Neville for Dean Ambrose. John Moxley probably coming up here soon if he leaves WWE as expected. And Neville, formerly Adrian Neville, but known as Pac. But it doesn't say Neville or Adrian or Pac or anything, it's just blank. So it shows Dean and blank for the nameplate. So here we go, Goldberg and Walter, a dream team there, challenging for the tag team championship. I gave Goldberg the gray goatee this time around. And I'm glad that not only can you bring in created wrestlers that you downloaded from the workshop, but you can also adjust their outfits. That might sound like a trivial matter, but I remember the days when Fire Pro Returns on the PS2. You downloaded a created wrestler, you had one outfit, one total, 500 total slots, so if you wanted to have a couple of alternate looks, you had to sacrifice a few roster spots. Point being, this is a lot better this way. Ambrose had what was the most serious injury to date for me in this game. He was out 3 months with chronic fatigue. Yeah. There have been a few kind of crazy things, something out of like the M. Dickey excellent game series. A lot of creativity with that. The wrestling games that M. Dickey made. Got my iPad sitting over there. Unfortunately, my iPad is a few years old and basically all but bricked at this point. The way they make it, they try and encourage you to buy newer ones even when you don't necessarily need them. So I haven't played in a while. Those have been fun to play through the years, and definitely some creative, if not horrifying things result in some of the wrestlers involved. Of course, the Total Extreme Wrestling series, AEW, there's all sorts of things that can happen. Wrestlers showing up in no condition to perform, the old description that Dave Meltzer used to use in The Observer for people that showed up wasted. Which really doesn't happen as much in the business anymore, fortunately.
5 minutes gone.
Now, I would normally set this for a 45-minute time limit. I tend to do for the tag title matches. But this might be 30. I didn't go through and check properly before I set this up. And that's on me. I'm going to be more careful about that. I actually own this game both for the PC via Steam and also my PlayStation 4. And I got the day one version with the little mini packet with the different New Japan wrestlers shown. A lot of nostalgia for me with this game. I first played it when I was 18 years old. Modded SNES in the summer of 1996. They used to make it so difficult to play Japanese wrestling games in the United States. Because what happened with other titles, you would have imports that wouldn't count the total sales for a given market. And that didn't go over well with some people, and as a result, ended up with things like geo-blocking, essentially, or having various country codes. Even if that game wasn't going to come out in your country, it still wasn't that you could play there, even though you should have been able to. That's one element of gaming I don't miss at all. I remember getting Champion Wrestling. The PlayStation 1, to get that to play Japanese games, like showing all these hoops, have some trick that had things sit halfway open, like a boot disc. And that's not my thing at all as far as figuring that stuff out. So again, I'm very grateful if there are people. I mentioned Carzilla before, and I'll mention him again. He's really helped this game, and people enjoy playing it. It's certainly been enough motivation for me to jump through a few hoops and deal with some headaches to get to play through the years. But this one's the best out of them all as far as the Japanese imports go. WWF No Mercy for the N64, still one of the all-time greats. Same with WWE. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain on the PlayStation 2, which to me is more fun than the current WWE games that come out. And again, I know people that love the current WWE product, and that's great. I don't, play what you dig, enjoy it. But the gameplay compared to this and the fun factor, even when you have all the real pictures and real wrestlers from WWE in the game, with Fire Pro, the way this game plays, it's something special. At least to me. I've seen all 4 wrestlers in this game wrestle in person. So Goldberg and Ambrose, WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. Also saw Neville there as well. I got stuck on the pre-show, him and Austin Aries. Actually, Ambrose as well, now that I think about it. That pre-show, WWE seems so undisciplined these days. The length of their big shows. It's this endurance contest. The Walter I finally saw last year in New Orleans, actually in Kenner, Louisiana. It's less than 15 miles from my hotel, but the Lyft driver that took me there was almost incredulous. But that far out from New Orleans on a Friday night or whatever it was. Didn't think I was going to get a ride back. Luckily I did. Meanwhile, from where I live here in the Nashville area, it's further to get to downtown from where I lived than it was my hotel to Kenner. It proved to be a bit expensive, but it was worth it. First of all, to see Walter in person for the first time. He doesn't work the U.S. very much, at least out of Europe. Although now I guess he's with WWE's UK NXT offshoot. But I saw him wrestle at the WWN Super Show. Tag match, taping up with Timothy Thatcher. It was a lot of fun. The main event that night was really good. Will Ospreay versus Matt Riddle. Can't really have that match anymore with Riddle and NXT and Ospreay full-time with New Japan Pro Wrestling. That match was better than anything I saw at WrestleMania 34, except maybe the Ronda tag match. So I've been the last 3 years to WrestleMania in person, not going this year. Between New York prices, becoming more and more disillusioned with the WWE product. Just the sheer economics of it. New York is not a cheap place. The jackhammer from Goldberg. I love the 2.9 count. The near falls in this game. Get drawn in like it's real. It's like watching a real life great pro wrestling match where you get able to suspend your disbelief for a little bit. With Fire Pro, you really never know what's going to happen. Couldn't be bothered to go make the save. Now, of course, the negative with using a bunch of created download wrestlers is that they're made by very wide-ranging people. Some with incredible skill, some with more moderate skill. And almost all of them better than I would be at it. In that first Fire Pro game that I had in 1996, I can only imagine what would be going back and trying to play that now and seeing the edits I came up with. Rather abysmal, I'm sure, by comparison. But for the time, it was really something to be able to make anyone you want to be able to play. And they had none of the Japanese wrestlers that were close to the real thing to have a good base. I think of like Shinya Hashimoto from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Mitsuharu Misawa, or Kenta Kobashi, Yoshiaki Kawada from All Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot of guys I read about online or in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Able to play in real life, more than a video game in real life, I should say. And then be able to add my own guys. It's unheard of before. I find it amazing that in real life pro wrestling, nobody uses an on-screen clock. Even a promotion like New Japan that keeps time down to the second, legitimately like it is. Won't use an on-screen clock, and I don't understand it. I do know that Vince McMahon is stuck in like 1982 as far as the way sports presentation went. Not exactly the most progressive thinker along those lines, but I know if WWE had an on-screen clock, and everybody else would too, just the way it goes. So they can simulate things like Vince McMahon's horrible sense of comedy. Here comes Ambrose. Found it interesting with TNA. The one really good thing they came up with was during their Fox Sports Net era, as Goldberg goes for the pin. Oh, a near fall. But during the Fox Sports Net era, they had an on-screen clock and it listed the participants like a real sporting event. It was great. But because it was TNA, naturally, they pissed it away and got rid of that when they went to Spike. Testing out the delay here. Got this set up pretty decently as far as seeing how my mic level is going to peak the mic. Okay, it wasn't too much of a delay. So I've got a web browser open with the video playing but muted so I can see the chat. I've got the OBL, and that's it. That'll do it. Ambrose and Pac retain the Tag Team Championship. So 100% for that match. The champs hold on to the titles. Going into the main event, Chris Jericho, the champion, defending against Cody Rhodes. One thing to keep in mind with this game is that it forces you to have the champion on the right side. And the control freak in me that likes things a certain way prefers the champions on the left, but it just simply won't let you do that in this game. So Jericho is the champion. I wish it showed how many defenses he had on this particular screen. Make sure to save it now. Just save the progress. I'm going to back out. See the steps you got to jump through. Like I said, didn't have to leave Fire Promoter. I could have stayed in there. Again, the user interface for this game is not its selling point. For a split second there, I was afraid I forgot with these matches. I'm very concerned with that February event screen loaded up, but I guess that's what happens when you leave the okay, it makes you stay on this until you're all the way through. I was going to see how many. I think Jericho's had one, I forget if it's 1 or 2 successful title defenses. Whatever the case, for this February Year 2 event, I'm going to have to defend here in just a second. I'm going to stop the stream momentarily and check out the audio levels. And bounce back here in a second. Alright, so I'm going to try this going to the main event here. I boosted my audio level just a little bit as I was seeming to cut out a bit the background music. I'll try not to drone on too much over things. Get going here with Cody versus Jericho for the heavyweight title. Funny, I've been on Twitch or had an account here for years without actually streaming anything, just to watch other people. Come on! At first, it's just, you know, the kind of flummoxing, what's the point of watching other people play video games? But you see the interaction and some people that are really good at certain games. It's a lot of fun. Jericho has been a very good talent for me in this game. Multi-time heavyweight champion, has usually very good matches. Helps pack the house. Now for this month, when I first set it up to start, it gave me this, like social media was what I used to promote the show to give me some sort of bonus of a viral campaign. But then I closed out before saving it, and I loaded it back up again to see what happened. And I guess it's a certain chance X amount of times it'll give you the bonus. Because when I tried again, it didn't give me the bonus, and so it was slightly shy of the capacity crowd that it was going to have if I would have not reset it from the beginning, but wanted to see how it was going to work out, so now I know. Hoping the best for Team Cody and Jericho, thinking about the real life AEW. It's a very bold effort to be made going up against the Giant. As much as AEW might not want a war with WWE, they're going to get one either way. They've done a lot of things right, a lot of things the way that I would have done. Funny. I mean, Tony Khan and I are similar in that we both, as teenagers, kind of grew up reading the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And I don't know Tony personally, but knowing that background, if ever somebody with money is going to get into the wrestling business, not the quote-unquote money mark, but somebody that really understands and has the financial backing to go at it at a big level, be somebody like him, somebody like Tony that's been, we talk about a finishing course, the Observer, reading it for that many years. If you get a little pickup on basic do's and don'ts from the Observer from that many years of reading, then you're probably not going to have any luck no matter what happens. I know they got that Double or Nothing event out in Las Vegas coming up in May. Would have been fun to go, but scheduling it didn't work out for me. I think of the fake sponsors, the pepperoni one, the one that's the Little Caesars parody, or at least that's what it looks like. Yeah, Prince Pepperoni. Probably my favorite of them, but Monster Games is my primary sponsor. That's one nice thing. After the first year, finally let me have some sponsorship. Now, I presume that just happens with the game after 1 year versus whatever I achieved in that December event. I think it just unlocks after a year. That seems to be how it is. One thing I wish that Fire Promoter Mode had was we got to finish here as Jericho retains the championship. I wish it had like that one year they had in the WWE series that was really good where you'd be like general manager mode. It would list like wins or losses in a row. Actually made them feel like they mattered, unlike modern day WWE. But that's the thing it doesn't list here. You kind of have to figure it out for yourself. Jericho retains, not the best match rating, but it's okay. Earlier matches in the show able to hopefully carry us through. 87%, we should be fine with that. And again, if I wouldn't have reset the game after it initially gave me that social media bonus, I would have had a full house, but instead just a little less than 400 shy, or a little more than 400 shy of capacity. Go ahead and choose to end event. It's a great success. A flawless show. Ready to book a bigger venue. There we go. That'll make a pretty decent profit the last few months. Had to be careful, it didn't end up like the Crockett's. Get overextended money-wise. Makes what you just watched seem very unimportant. This is nothing noteworthy happened, but I think that means in the general world of the game. The wording with some of these things, you can tell that these were translations and not smoothed out by a native speaker of English. Dean is coming to consult on the grounds that the present salary is too low. How about revising salary amount? I mean, I know what they mean. It's just a little bit stilted the way it's worded. T-Hawk wants more money. They're all hitting me up. Oh, come on, Goldberg. Wow, everybody's got heat with me. Party? Will I throw a party for these guys? They're all wanting more money from me? If there's a cake, you know somebody's face is going into it. That's a rule of pro wrestling. I'm not sure what the ideal length for a video here on Twitch is. Very easy to make a highlight. I had like that 9-hour thing where I was just letting the game play on out for a while yesterday, and I was able to cut the finish to the Kenny Omega Bill Goldberg match, clip it rather easily. I'm just used to the very cumbersome process within YouTube, or trying to find some sort of third-party software that's not too expensive. It can be kind of a hassle, so I was very pleased that it was quite easy to do with Twitch, at least my first effort at it. So I'm going to stop this, change the title for the next month. It'll be February, replaced by March year 2. Have that come up here in just a second.